While the liberal media industrial complex has declared old Joe the supposed winner of the 2020 election, none of the vote counts have been certified yet. There are numerous pending recounts, not to mention some very strange anomalies being uncovered in key swing states that led to Biden's supposed victory. Anomalies like electronic voting machines in Michigan giving thousands of votes to Joe Biden that were cast for President Trump because of a supposed computer glitch.
In Antrim County, ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity. Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancies.
And it turns out that it wasn't just Michigan using the glitchy machines, it was more than a dozen states. And Facebook gave me another strike on my page and another notification that they may soon delete it because I posted, quote, "No voter fraud," the media says, while a software glitch in Michigan changed thousands of votes from Trump to Biden. Their independent fact-checking AI determined that that was partially false, admitting that the glitch did change the thousands of votes, but saying that it was just a glitch and nothing to worry about. Your page is at risk of being unpublished because of continued community standards violations, they say. It'll be a miracle if I actually make it until the end of the year. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, who is a Democrat, now calling himself a Trumpocrat, weighed in on the controversy.
If the question is, are the Democrats stealing votes in Philadelphia? My answer is the Pope Catholic? It's a time-honored tradition in big Democrat-controlled cities like Chicago, my hometown, Philadelphia, to do precisely what they're doing now. I've never seen it on such a magnitude because this, I think, is an indication of just how widespread it is, how deep it is, and I don't think it's just confined to Philadelphia. My instincts, again, coming out of Chicago Democratic politics, my instincts tell me it's going on in Atlanta, it's going on in Detroit, it's going on in Milwaukee, it's going on in Las Vegas. And coming out of the Democratic Chicago political establishment, I know how they operate. They control polling places, they stop votes when their candidate's behind, and then in the wee hours of the morning, in the dark of night, the stealing starts. And we've seen that in big numbers, unprecedented numbers in this election in Michigan and in Philadelphia. It's outrageous. And the fact that they're doing it with the impunity they're doing it with is because the media is simply looking the other way because they have they're a corrupt mainstream media that's not interested in protecting our Constitution or the rule of law. They just want to beat Donald Trump at all costs.
It's interesting to point out that he made these comments on Newsmax, a small yet growing cable news network, and I don't think he's made an appearance on Fox News. And on Saturday, Judge Jeanine Pirro was suspended for talking about such topics. Sources close to the network tell Newsmax because she made a very staunch defense of President Trump and wanted to expose the voter fraud that took place in the election, Fox News decided not to air her show. Fox News still has a lot of great hosts, though, and Tucker Carlson hasn't let us down once. Matt Drudge, on the other hand, is perhaps the biggest traitor in this entire election cycle. Many people believe that he sold the Drudge Report, but I have a source very close to him who says that that's not true, and I have another source who has many sources close to him who says that that's not true, and to alleviate any doubt, he tweeted from his personal Twitter account for the first time in many, many months, this picture, which he posted on the front page of President Trump looking distraught with the headline, "You're fired." He also blocked people from responding to the tweet by turning off all the replies. And that was the last straw for me. After 20 years of the Drudge Report being my homepage, I finally had enough and made the switch that I should have made many, many months ago to Breitbart. But if you thought that Joe Biden supposedly winning the election would mean that the liberal tears would stop flowing, you would be wrong.
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. This is vindication for a lot of people.
Stephen Colbert also broke down into tears because, like Al Gore in the 2000 election, President Trump is waiting until the recounts and the legal challenges are finished to see how this thing finally turns out.
So we all knew he would do this. What I didn't know is that it would hurt so much. I didn't expect this to break my heart. For him to cast a dark shadow on our most sacred right, from the briefing room in the White House, our house, not his.
It breaks his heart that the president doesn't believe the liberal media.
There is no evidence of anyone trying to steal the election. There is evidence of election workers in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, counting the votes.
But they want President Trump to give up, and God forbid they make sure that only the legal votes were counted.
We know that in this area, which has been gripped with the idea of an economic shutdown, that over 100,000 people left. Yet, through our due diligence, we've been able to find that at least 9,000 of them voted in this election. Non-Nevadans voting in Nevada.
President Trump should not concede. Their allegations of system failure, fraud, John James, do not concede. These computers in Michigan do not pass the smell test. Keep fighting for every legal and live vote. So, to my Republican colleagues out there, we have to fight back or we will accept our fate. I want Pennsylvania to explain to the American people how 6 people, after they die, can register and vote in Pennsylvania. I want the computer systems in Michigan that flip votes from Republicans to Democrats to be looked at, and the software was used all over the country. There's a lot of shenanigans going on here.
And in case you don't use Twitter, this is what President Trump's Twitter feed has looked like every night since the election. Just a bunch of empty spots where tweets used to be, filled in and replaced with notifications from Twitter saying that the information President Trump tweeted out is misleading. And who knew that Joe Biden would put an end to social distancing so soon? I'm sure you've seen clips like this with the morons across the country in the big cities celebrating his alleged victory.